Welcome back to my channel. I am your favorite mother of three, Bougie Vintage, and today's video is a chit chat. Get ready with me. As you see by the title of this video, the main topic of discussion is the Kim and Kanye custody case. I am offering my unfiltered, unsolicited opinion about this sad situation. Over the last couple of months, we have been subject to the group chat that is Kim and Kanye, and we have been witnessing Kanye's antics. And the fact of the matter is, it is actually really sad to witness this unfolding. Now, this is not new. There have been many public breakups over the years. Obviously, a long time ago, there was no social media, but we did watch things play out in the media, like Alec Baldwin's divorce and his custody battle about his kids. Angelina and Brad. As a celebrity, there's really no escaping it. The only difference is now with social media, it's not just tabloids and media reporting. It is literally coming from the source itself. So it's coming from Kanye, it's coming from Kim, it's coming from whoever is involved. Now, it's no secret that marriage is not easy, okay? It is not for the faint of heart. And when a marriage starts to dissolve, especially when there are young children involved, it can be really tough, especially if it's playing out publicly. I am a product of divorce, and it affects every child differently. So there's 4 children involved in this case in particular. And though most of them are pretty young, their oldest is 8 years old, and she is the one that is old enough to understand a lot of what's going on between her parents. I was around the same age as North when my parents got separated. I've been vocal about this on my channel before. I had no problem with the separation, okay? One of the best things that ever happened to me, okay? I never had a problem with the separation, but it affected my sister differently. North might not mind her parents getting a divorce, but it may affect the younger ones differently as they get older because they don't understand so much. Now, obviously, when my parents were getting separated, there was no social media, okay? The closest thing to social media was church. We're also not famous, so it didn't really play out publicly, and it wouldn't really matter to anybody outside of our household. That being said, it's still a hurtful thing to go through for the parents, for the children, and the difference between us and them is that we got to deal with our stuff privately. And of course, there weren't people like me making videos about it online and sharing their unsolicited, unfiltered opinions about it. Now, the first thing I want to cover here, I'm going to zoom in, is my opinion on Kim and Kanye's stance on North being on TikTok. I recently joined TikTok. There's a lot going on TikTok. I think originally TikTok was very child friendly, but it is not anymore. There's all kinds of people on TikTok, all kinds of content, and because of the way TikTok does their algorithm, there is no real control over what you're gonna see next. Though it is censored quite a bit, it's still not technically a place for a child, especially a child that is only 8. I am 100% behind Kanye on North not being on TikTok for a number of reasons. As you guys know, I am a mom of 3. I have 3 under 5, 4, okay? My oldest is 4. I have a 2-year-old that will be 3 in May, and Nola turns 1 next week. Next week? I think so. You guys don't see a lot of my kids online. Obviously, I post myself online, but I pretty much try to keep my private life as private as possible. The reason for that is because I have basically grown up on social media. I have been subjected to a certain level of online bullying and abuse that I do not want to subject my own children to, and that is just a personal choice. Other people like to have their kids front and center page, or front page and center, and that's cool. But I personally know what kind of sick people are out there, and that is a big part of the reason that I have opted to not share a lot of pictures of my kids, videos of my kids, you know, anything really involving my children, I tried to keep it offline. It is literally our job as parents to protect our children. And I think that is what Kanye is trying to do where North is concerned. People that are online that do the trolling and bullying, and even though a lot of the time they are projecting, they don't have any boundaries. They have no tact, no decorum. They will say anything and everything to try to hurt you. They will make things up that don't even make sense. And they want to believe it is true, and they're going to, you know? And so because I have had people personally message me saying outlandish things about my children, I completely understand where Kanye is coming from. And I've also, since North was born, have seen it happen to North in Kim's comment sections, in blog posts. If they post a child, they will say horrible things about a baby. People don't have boundaries. They have no sense. They have no souls, you know? Now, the Kardashians have lived their whole entire lives basically out in front of the camera. And though I could be wrong, I think that Kim is addicted to attention. And I also believe that they are suffering from mental illnesses. The main one being body dysmorphia. I am somebody that has body dysmorphia. And we've seen even the Kardashians get bullied. But the difference between the Kardashians getting bullied and someone like me getting bullied, or just a random person getting bullied online, the difference between us and them is that they can use their millions of dollars to dry their tears. On the surface, they're always going to act like it's not going to faze them. But I can guarantee you at nighttime, they are crying themselves to sleep. Not every night, but they definitely do suffer and do cry, because when you're being attacked, you're human. They're not robots, you know what I mean? So they're gonna be crying. And then I'm sure they check their bank statements and they're like, whatever. That's the difference between them and a regular person getting bullied online. Does that matter? No, because there are plenty of rich people, wealthy people, famous people that commit suicide or that are suffering with substance abuse or blah, 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 because of everything that goes into living a life of luxury, or a famous person's life. There's a lot to it. It is not just wake up, oh my God, there's something in my eye, get money, go to sleep, everything is fine and dandy. No. These people are challenged daily. I don't think that Kanye really considered the fact that his wife could be addicted to social media or attention, which I don't see how he could ignore that. But men aren't thinking about that. Okay, they trying to get they pickle wet. Like, he's not thinking about her addiction to attention affecting their potential children. And so because he didn't consider that, now they have kids and she is wanting to allow her children to live the same exact life that she has lived when they really don't have to. In the earlier years, Kanye had always really kind of been vocal about not really wanting North to participate in keeping up with the Kardashians. He didn't want to participate in the show himself because that's just not what he was into. And so he was on a few episodes, but it's not his thing. Kanye has real talent, so he doesn't need to be on a reality television show exposing his innermost private life to the world, for the world to judge and make opinions on that they really have no business speaking on, like me. But that has always really been Kanye's stance where his children were concerned. He didn't really want them involved, per se, in the keeping up with the Kardashian foolishness. And I guess over the years, he realized that, you know, he's not gonna have that much say, and so he was lenient. But still, I don't think North was on the show as much as her mom would have probably wanted her to be, because at the end of the day, the child is shared. This is somebody that they both created, all their children they both created, and they technically should both have a say. But as the father is the head of the household, what he says should take precedence over what mom says. If, in fact, he is a good father, good provider, he's leading his family. And because Kanye is Christian, that is the role that he would take on. Very early on, we saw Kim letting North wear lipstick and stuff, and she was actually wearing it in public, and her father found issue with this, and Kim spoke about this, and they ended up having to limit North to wearing lipstick only or makeup inside of the house, because why is a 4-year-old wearing makeup outside of the house? I let my kids put on lipstick all the time, but I don't bring them to freaking Loblaws wearing makeup. For what? They are children. They don't even wear lip gloss. They gonna get some Blistex and we gonna call it a day, honey. They are 4, 3, and 1. They don't need lipstick. No, I never wear lipstick before, but the other two definitely always come in my room and they want to put on makeup because that's what mommy does. So it's normal for little kids, little girls especially, to explore that. But for a child to be out in public with some damn lipstick on, that's crazy. That's too grown. Aside from that, North was also always dressing, to me, not child friendly. And you might be like, well, what is child friendly clothing? Not what the hell she had on, I'll tell you that, okay? Now, I am a fashion designer, so, my kids might not wear the stuff that other people's kids might wear. Like, I might make my kids stuff that I think is cute, and another mom might not think is cute. Like, I'll allow my child to wear a tube top, but it's not going to be a tube top where her belly's out. It's going to be, down to her waist, and connecting to her pants. Okay? Like, everybody's different. But, like, other parents might not let their kids wear tube tops because they think that that's something that a grown-up is supposed to wear. Clothes are too mature, right? So she was wearing, like, slip dresses, belly tops, like, just things that, maybe as black people, especially little black girls, we weren't allowed to wear those things when we were growing up. And to me, I stand by that, rightfully so. There's a time and a place and an age that stuff is appropriate at, and it's simply not 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 years old. It's just not. Now, the reason I agree with Kanye's stance on that is because as a child, I was preyed upon, and realistically, you don't need any makeup to be preyed upon as a child. You don't need to dress a certain way to be preyed upon as a child. It just happens because people are sick. But as a father, as a black father at that, Kanye is trying to preserve the innocence of his child, as he should, because she's a baby. People need to realize that the stuff, honey, the stuff that goes on in Hollywood that involves children is very real. I can name so many childhood stars off the top of my head that have run into predators, that have had other issues growing up after becoming childhood stars because they were not protected. There are so many underage victims that have been abused by Hollywood. These people sell their children to basically the highest bidder, and they don't think twice about it. They let their kids run off with whoever, whenever, wherever. All those Disney stars, with the exception of like Hilary Duff, the freaking, look at Amanda Bynes, Demi Lovato, Aaliyah, all of R. Kelly's other victims, freaking Justin Bieber. Do you think Justin Bieber makes music and then disappears into his little cocoon because it's fun for him? Or do you think that he went through something being a child in the industry? Michael friggin' Jackson. Allison Stoner. I talked about her the other day. She has a video on YouTube about this stuff. Allison Stoner, freaking Jeanette McCurdy. There's a reason she doesn't act anymore. The Olsen twins. And damn it, Britney Spears. Okay? Britney Spears in the documentary they talked about how people were literally waiting for her to turn 18. Which reminds me that the other day I saw for the first time ever, this photo shoot of Bow Wow for his 18th birthday. I don't know if it was in Vibe magazine or The Source or one of them magazines. They had a 18 photo shoot for him for his 18th birthday. And I was like sick to my stomach looking at it. I said, they traumatized that boy. They traumatized him. The pictures were so telling. Like, oh, he's 18 now. They have all these grown women in lingerie around him. Like they were preying on him, waiting for him to turn 18. He entered the rap game when he was like 12, 11 or whatever. Like, why were grown... Like... And also, if you Google or YouTube, when Usher was a teenager, he was taken advantage of. Lil Wayne was taken advantage of at the hands of Baby and Slim, and having grown women do what to Lil Wayne? What? And when Usher was living with Diddy, girl, and I think that a part of the reason that Justin Bieber kind of went through that as well is because he ended up being Usher's artist, right? And so... I don't know if Usher wasn't thinking and didn't take the precautions he needed to take to protect Justin Bieber, but nobody's trying to protect these kids. And it's really disgusting. Now let's take into consideration the fact that Kanye West has been in the industry for over 20 years. He has first-handedly seen what goes on behind closed doors, stuff that we might never hear about, because the people in Hollywood protect the people in Hollywood. That's how Jeffrey Epstein got away with whatever the hell he got away with. And his friggin' lady. And then Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement stuff. This is the kind of stuff that goes on, but the stuff involving the children gets swept under the rug. You think Beyonce keeps her children and her life private because she doesn't want to share her kids' milestones and stuff with the world? No, she's protecting them from the abuse that she's been subjected to just for being Beyonce. Beyonce was preyed upon. Kelly was preyed upon. They've all gone through it. They know what the industry does. Now, one of the reasons I feel really impassioned about this is because the Black community, our community, has been plagued by absentee fathers. And this is something that it's not a stereotype, it is actually a fact. And whether the father chose to be absentee or whether it was some other circumstances like being wrongfully convicted of crimes, or for getting a ridiculous sentence for carrying a gram or two of weed, or for being murdered, the fact of the matter is Black households, a lot of them don't have fathers. And the system was designed for us to accept that as our normal. It's why our generation is trying so hard to break those generational curses. You know, a lot of us have chosen to not have kids because we don't want to disappoint them. We don't want to, you know, make the same mistakes our parents made. We don't want to fail our kids or feel like we failed our kids. And it's a scary thing. I don't blame anybody for deciding to not want to have children. I don't, because it's not easy. And you don't know what is going to come out of your vagina. You don't. The system was literally designed to keep us back and down as a people. But especially in North America, they don't want us to have two parents in our home because they fear how successful we might become as a people if we are given that advantage. If we're always struggling as a people because we only have one parent in the home, one income, struggling to make ends meet, we'll never get ahead. We'll never be able to take back what's rightfully ours. You know what I mean? We've been forced to normalize single parent households. And that's why people don't, you know, take marriage seriously anymore. That's why everybody's a baby mama. Even the damn Kardashians. And they're trying to rebrand being a baby mama. Like, no. There will be no rebranding it. It is not cool. It is not posh. It is not a new normal. It's ghetto. Period. Right? If it's ghetto for Black people, it's ghetto for white people. Khloe Kardashian is a baby mama, and her baby daddy is very trifling. So we're not going to try to normalize being baby mothers and baby fathers. It is problematic to continue making broken homes. That's why Nick Cannon sowing his seed every damn where, because of whatever he needs to deal with in therapy, which finally he decided he's done. That's why what he's done, creating all these different broken homes, is problematic. Because why do you have eight children, right? Like, why do you have that many kids and you're not with any of the mothers? Why are you doing that? It doesn't matter that you're financially providing for these children. You are giving them, putting them at a disadvantage by you having kids back to back to back, being born 1 week after it's just ghetto and nasty. Like, we're not talking about Nick Cannon today, child. Okay, God bless him. I feel like Kanye, as North's father, definitely should have a say about what she can and cannot do. Who the hell is this? Bye. If social media was a necessary part of life for a child, which it's not, and we know it's not, if social media was not toxic, which we know it is, Kanye might not feel the way he feels about North being on TikTok. At the end of the day, we're not talking about North's needs, okay? Because that's what her mom is making it seem like. She's making it seem like North needs TikTok to survive, which is stupid. She does not. It makes her happy. Who cares? We're talking about North's wants. North wants to post on TikTok. It's a creative outlet for her. But the fact of the matter is that North is just simply too young. Because not like Kanye is saying she can never join TikTok. He's just saying, my daughter is 8. She's not even at the age yet that you're allowed to join TikTok, whether her mom is monitoring it or not. The age, I believe, is 13. And even 13 is too young. These little girls are going on social media getting bullied. You know, I'm talking about regular little girls getting bullied, you know, seeing things, being overly exposed to things that they shouldn't really be exposed to, and not living the lives of children. They're trying to grow up too fast. And that's why and when we end up with teen moms and other issues. All I'm seeing here is that Kim is trying to spoil North, and that unfortunately is something that bites you in the butt years down the line when you spoil your kids or when you overexpose them. Look at Bobby Christina, like she saw too much too young too soon. You know, obviously Kim and Kanye are not addicted to substances, but they still have other issues there. And realistically, if they don't teach this child the word no, and no means no, and you don't have to have TikTok, they don't teach her that, she's gonna give them a run for their friggin' money when it's time. Because I'm pretty sure she already is. Kylie is actually the perfect example of what happens when you do not set boundaries for your children. Kylie was 10 years old when she was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians doing a whole pole dancing routine. What? Where is that okay? Where is that okay? Why is a 10-year-old wearing heels and pole dancing on national television? They sold her to the highest friggin' bidders. And you cannot tell me any differently. Kylie was overexposed, and look at her now. She grew up with insecurities because she saw too much too soon. They didn't put any boundaries down. She was spoiled. Now she a baby mama. And as much as they want to normalize it, which I don't mind Kylie because I feel like she minds her business, and you know, I feel like she's not addicted to attention. We barely see her, right? I think she's just about her money, her bread, and living her best life, being a mom, and that's great for her. But the fact of the matter is she was 10 years old dancing on a friggin' pole. That is she had no business there. And they aired it on like what? They aired it. To me, you guys were asking for predators to look her. Like what is that? And Kanye knows that. And Kanye don't want that for his kid. And he has every right to not want that for his kid. It's not okay. It's not normal. Now, we can say and argue down that Kanye knew who he was marrying before he married her until we're blue in the face, but it's really irrelevant Because Kanye is not Kim's daddy. Kanye is North's dad. He's Chicago's dad. He's Sam's dad, and he's Saint's dad. He's not Kim's daddy. So he's not going to tell Kim, even though he did try to, you know, say what he didn't want her doing anymore, which she wasn't going for that. And, you know, it's fair because she was who she was when he married her. So he can't try to come in and change her now. And, you know, he doesn't want her to be dressing provocative and stuff like that. And it's not okay because of blah, blah, blah. Like, he can't come in and try to change her. If she respected him and respected their marriage and wasn't addicted to attention, she probably would agree to, you know, move past the sex symbol thing, because she doesn't need to do that. She's made enough money off of it. She could change and, you know, do other things, which we see she's, you know, trying to be a lawyer now or whatever. So it's not far-fetched, but it wasn't going to be on Kanye's time, and it wasn't going to be for Kanye. It had to be something that Kim wanted for herself, which is fair. You know, you can't go into relationships trying to change people. They're going to do what they want to do for them, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, we're not talking about what Kim wants to do with her body and what Kim wants to do. We're talking about what Kanye's child wants, and that's to be on TikTok. And the fact is that she does not meet the age requirement to be on the app. What I find most ironic about the situation is that Kim's new boyfriend, Pete, left social media in 2019 because of the impact that it had on his mental health. Pete recently rejoined Instagram, but then deleted it again because as soon as he joined, he was quickly reminded of why he deleted it in the first place. My point in bringing that up is North is not special. It's gonna happen to her too. It's gonna affect her mental health. She's 8. She can read. It's problematic. She does not need to be overly exposed. I say she's not special because the same way they violate Pete, the same way they violate Kim, the same way they violate Bow Wow, the same way they violate Lil Mama and call her Bow Wow, the same way they violate me and any freaking YouTuber that is on YouTube, they're gonna violate this little girl. I don't understand why that's something that her parent would want for her. Now, as I said before, TikTok is not essential for everyday life, and we're not gonna pretend that it is. If North is bored, she needs to pick up a book. She needs to, you know, go paint. She's a great painter. She needs to go play a video game. She needs to do things that little kids are supposed to be doing at 8 years old. I get times are changed, and this is what's normal now for some people, but there are plenty of other outlets that this little girl can use if she's bored. Because she's not doing anything life-changing on TikTok. Okay, that little emo girl thing, that video she posted, it ain't life-changing. It's not necessary. And the thing is, North may not get it now, and she might throw a tantrum, but that's what kids do. Who is the parent? Who is the child? You, as the parent, you are supposed to set boundaries. And that's all I believe Kanye is trying to do. North has been blessed and spoiled her whole life. She's only been here 8 damn years. She got more money than all of us. Like, she's been blessed and spoiled her whole life. And realistically, she's probably just not used to hearing the word no. So she is gonna throw a freaking tantrum, probably, if she's told that she cannot go on TikTok. But this is the prime example of what happens when two worlds collide. This is what happens when two worlds collide. Kanye grew up basically poor and black. Kim grew up white, rich, and privileged. And now that the marriage is pretty much over, she was granted legally single. Now that the marriage is over, it's hard to find a middle ground because Kanye does not live in the home. You know, most of the times the parents, the kids do stay with the mom. That's generally what happens in situations like these. And because of that, Kim may feel like what she says is more important than what Kanye says, but that's not true joint custody. They are both supposed to be able to make decisions for the child. Now, there has to be compromises some places. And personally, I feel like this is just something that they need to compromise on. Now, we may not always agree with Kanye's antics. Notice I did not touch on any of the other stuff he's been doing because they are indeed just that, antics. I believe that his points here are valid. And as a black man, as a black father that is actively trying to parent and be in his child's life, I think that it's extremely important that he gets to do so. And I feel like it's extremely important that he is supported in that. Because as I stated earlier, our community has been plagued with fathers that are absentee. Now we have somebody here that is trying to not be what he had growing up, and he's not being allowed to do it. Do you see the problem? People want to say that he's trying to be controlling and that it's about Kim and blah, blah, but it's not, because he's always had this stance. I don't want my child on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I don't want my child on TikTok. It is not controlling. He is trying to protect her from Holly Weird. What are people not getting? I feel like Kanye has witnessed firsthand the effects that these things have had on his own wife and their family. We see that these people are suffering from issues. Kim's legs look like this and her butt looks like this. She doesn't look normal. And the attention that it brings obviously is something that she likes, but we've seen her crying about her butt on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Why are you crying about something that you did? You chose that. You chose it. You got addicted to the surgery and you would not stop. That's your own fault. You also have the money to remove it. So it's like, nobody's going to feel sorry for you in that regard. But I think he's trying to prevent that generational curse, because all of those sisters are dealing with that, except for maybe Courtney, because she didn't do the enhancements to her butt like Khloe, Kim, and Kylie. Kanye has seen it firsthand. I'm sure Kim has cried to him about it at least once. They were married for how many years now? Since 2014. Kanye's seen some things. People don't drastically change their appearance and are not suffering from something mentally, spiritually, and soulfully. Khloe is on her I don't know what face, and every time she looks different, whether it's Photoshop or because she adjusted her nose again, or because she's starving herself or working out really hard to try to stay slim because she grew up as the ugly fat sister. Those things have played a big role in why she feels the way she does about her body and her face. And she recently said in an interview that it hurt, and it still hurts, and rightfully so. I don't think that that's fair. And even after all the surgeries, it turns out they're still not satisfied with how they look, because it's not that. What Beyonce say? It's the soul that needs the surgery. I feel like their self-esteem is in hell, and Kanye does not want that for his child. So he's trying his damnedest to prevent those issues, get ahead of them, you know? The other issue that we are seeing play out is that Kanye feels like Kim's playing games with him by keeping him from the kids, which is very ghetto, very ghetto. The first time we saw Kanye hop online and he shook the table, okay, was when he was trying to get the address for his child's birthday party and couldn't get it. And I disagreed with this right away, because it's like they then tried to say that the reason that they wouldn't give him the address is because he originally stated that they should do separate parties, and then I guess last minute he decided he's not doing a party for Chicago. But that didn't make sense to me, because even if he said we should do separate parties, that doesn't mean he shouldn't attend the party that her mom was having for her. I do not understand why you would not have the father of the children at the birthday party, no matter what you guys are going through. That was shady as hell. And really, there's no excuse to it. Unless you have a restraining order against him, there's no reason that he shouldn't have been provided the address to his daughter's birthday party. Because it's like this. If he's having a party for Chicago next week, and you're having a party for Chicago today, why would he not be at Chicago's party today, and why wouldn't you be at Chicago's party next week? As the mom and as the father, you would both be at the party. You don't have to talk. You would both be at the party. But back to what I was saying, it's a tough call to say if Kim is keeping North or trying to keep him from the kids or not. It's hard to say. We don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. We only know what Kanye is sharing with us, which is a lot. Because North is older, I have to say that it could actually just be that because she's witnessing all these things with her dad, she might not want to go with him. She might not want to be around him right now, which is okay. But even though it's tough, North has to be able to vocalize that herself to her dad. Kanye has to call North. She obviously has a cell phone and she got TikTok. He needs to call North and be like, hey baby, what's going on? Do you want to come or not? Because if every time she's supposed to be somewhere, Kim is then saying like she's not going to be on the plane? Is it because North said she doesn't want to go and they're trying to preserve his feelings? Or is it because she's using North as a pawn? It's really unclear. But I think the only way to clear this up is for North to vocalize to her dad herself, hey dad, I don't feel comfortable coming. And she has enough language to do that. My kids tell me all the time when they want to and don't want to do stuff, and they're half her age. She can tell her dad exactly what she needs to tell him if she needs to tell him that. If she doesn't want to go to a freaking football game, basketball game, whatever it is that he wants to bring her to, then she doesn't have to go. And the only reason I say that it could be her not wanting to go is because when I was around North's age and my parents got separated, I didn't want to go to my dad's house. Granted, this is important. My father lived in a room in a basement, some old man's basement, and it was like wall to wall. My dad was too broke to bring us anywhere fun. Like, this man never even brought me to like a bowling alley, the zoo. $0, 0 cents. The only place he would bring us was church, and I didn't want to go to church. So it's like North is growing up with a very privileged parent, privileged dad, rich dad. So her situation is much different than mine was, but that doesn't matter. What matters is how she feels about the situation and how she feels about her dad. And if she doesn't want to go, then that is it's up to her to decide that. But she definitely does have to tell her dad, don't want to come. Otherwise, he's going to think that it is Kim, manipulating North or keeping North from him, which isn't cool. I think one of the reasons why this is so sad is because Kim grew up extremely privileged. And I don't mean money. I mean the fact that she's always had a father in her home. She doesn't know what it is to not have a father. She doesn't know the importance of having a black father in the home. It is so important. I feel like I'm getting emotional. It is so important for a black dad, a dad period, to be in the home. Kim had Robert Kardashian as her father, and before he even died, he was already replaced technically with her stepfather, Bruce. So she's never known what it is to grow up without a father, and she doesn't see, she's not experienced, she could never relate to growing up in a single parent home, because that's just not the life that she lived. She doesn't understand the plight of black people. She will never understand it, no matter how much she tans her skin, no matter how many braids she puts in her hair, no matter how many black children she births. She will never understand the importance and why Kanye is behaving the way he's behaving towards the children. She doesn't get why it is important for Kanye to be able to make decisions about his children's lives and what they can and cannot do. As a black woman, I understand the importance of having a father in the home. I understand that I didn't have that. And what I also understand is that because I didn't have that, and because I did not have that relationship with my father, when it came time for him to try to discipline me, I wasn't having it because I didn't feel like this person was a protector, a provider, a caregiver. He put in zero effort. We have Kanye that is trying to put in effort, trying to set boundaries, trying to be a father, a parent, protect his kid, and he's being roadblocked. North might not understand these things at 8, but I can guarantee you when she gets into the teens and the 18s and the 20-somethings, she'll be able to look back and be like, oh my God, thank God my dad was there for me. If I were personally going through a divorce with Kanye, I would allow him to make certain decisions still, because I understand the importance of allowing a Black father to do what he needs to do in and outside of the home as a protector, provider, disciplinary. Me as a mom, I always try to include my husband in the decision-making process surrounding the children, because it's important. You know, it's important for dads to be there for their kids, especially, not even especially their daughters, but like, especially their daughters. I don't know who I would have become if I had been afforded the opportunity to have a good dad. You know what I mean? We don't know those things. There is no denying that culturally, white people and Black people grow up very differently. I see it in my own home with my husband and, you know, even his sister, and their dynamic and relationship with their mom versus me and my sisters and our relationship with our mother. It is actually night and day. So when I hear Kanye making a point to say North will not do Playboy, that is him setting a boundary. Kanye is saying, my children are Wes. They're not Kardashians. They hold his last name. They hold his legacy. And at the end of the day, it's not a matter of what they want to do when they're grown. He is basically saying everything that the Kardashians did, everything that your mom did, she did it, so you don't have to. She essentially married up, you know? She is with one of the richest rappers alive, one of the most successful rappers alive. And even though she has her own money and didn't need anybody's money, that's beyond the point. Kanye is making it a point to say, my kids do not have to sell themselves. My kids do not have to sell sex, even though that's how they got here. That's how I met their mama. Like, even that's what was, that's not what's going to be. He's trying to break that curse, you know, and I do not blame him for that. I think that's the right thing to do. It's like, do as I say, not as I do. Learn from my mistakes. I'm going to be so open with my kids and let them know all the mistakes I've made in my life so that they don't do the same things that I do. Nobody wants to see their kid doing Playboy. Kris Jenner is focused on money. So she was okay to sell her daughter's sex tape because it was going to in turn make them billionaires. And it has. But that's also something they have to live with for the rest of their lives. People are never going to stop talking about how they got their start. And like I said, they're going to go and cry and wipe their tears with their freaking dollar bills. That's what they're going to do. But Kanye is making it very clear that his children are not living that life. And as a father, I think that is what he's supposed to do. And people don't recognize that he's only doing what he's supposed to do as a father. One thing I have to say is that on TikTok, I have stumbled across these biracial children, girls, not children, these biracial girls that are discussing their experience growing up with white moms and how different it is to grow up with a black mom. And even though that might not necessarily be North's true full story, I can guarantee you that there are going to be issues like that there for her, because North and, well, all of the mixed kids that have been born into the Kardashian family are products of a fetish. And obviously they love their children, but at the end of the day, try to create the thing that they want to be, but they will never be able to be. So they found the best suitor, a black man, and they made babies with them. Kim has publicly said previously that she never even considered like racism or things of that nature until it came to her child, which is crazy because you've been dating black men practically your whole life, but you never considered racism until you birthed one. Like, fetish. That's what I'm talking about, and it's sick. Okay, so now you're considering it, and now you have to kind of unlearn your biases and all those things. But what I find ironic is that now that she's had all the children that she wants to have, and she's taken from the culture what she wants to take, and she's profited off of it, now she's divorcing her husband, and all of a sudden she's dating somebody that's not black. Since when doesn't she like black men? I think that's a big part of the issue where raising North is concerned. Because how does somebody that's clearly jealous of black women raise somebody that they're jealous of? How does that work? Even if she's not consciously jealous, but subconsciously jealous, it's going to eventually play a role in how she raises this child. And people might not want to look at it that way and consider it, but I think we have to. Now, Kim is not white trash, right? So it's not like she's going to be calling her child the N-word and allowing people to call her child the N-word and things of that nature. But because Kim is not black and doesn't have the experience of a black woman, even though she might try to have the look of a black woman, the stereotypical look of a black woman, let me just add that, she is not going to be able to help North navigate life as a black woman. Because when North grows up, that's exactly what she's going to be. She's going to have a different privilege than the rest of us. But at the end of the day, she's still a nigga. And it's for her dad to be able to show her that. But if he's not allowed to parent her, he can't show her that. That is why I believe it is super important for him to be able to parent her whether they are married or not. What he says matters more than they realize. And them stripping him of his parental roles, despite the fact that they have joint custody, is major. It just furthers and continues the cycle of absentee fathers. Because eventually, when he throws his hands up and says, F this, I've been fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and I'm not getting anywhere. You guys are not allowing me to have a say-so. What is the point? If I can't parent and all you're going to do is take child support from me, not that she's taking child support from him. I don't think she is. But like, if you're not going to allow me to parent my child, what use do I have? The cycle continues. Even though he's rich, even though he can provide like no dad that I know, even though that he's trying to set these boundaries and make sure his child grows up a certain way and understands the word no, even though she's privileged, the mom's not allowing it, it also shows, and this is one thing, parents have to be on the same page no matter what. So if one parent says no, you both have to say no, depending on what it is, you know? If it's a thing where your mom says, ask your dad, and then dad says yes, then it's yes. If mom says, ask your dad, and dad says no, then it's no. If dad says, ask your mom, and mom says yes, then it's yes. If dad says, ask your mom, and mom says no, then it's no. You know, and it has to be that way. Because if you are not on the same page as parents, there will be no respect there. And what Kim is doing by allowing North to post on TikTok after her father has publicly and privately said, I don't want her on there, it is showing North to disrespect her father because the mom is disrespecting the father. It's dangerous. It is extremely dangerous. All Kanye's antics aside, we're not even talking about his antics. We're only talking about the parenting side of this because I think it's really important. That's what she's teaching this child. She doesn't have to listen to daddy, and that is not something that I will ever teach my kids. You gonna listen to your daddy. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is the Pete Davidson situation. Not in its entirety, but what happened yesterday. So Kanye was posting, and in his post, he stated that Pete text him that he was in bed with his wife. I didn't believe it. I said, he did not say that. Kanye don't lie, okay? But I just didn't think, like, it just was so outlandish to me. Like, what? Why would Kim even let her boyfriend text this man that? Like, what? I did think it was strange, but shortly after that, it got confirmed that he indeed did text that to him. And I was shocked. Now, obviously, Kanye has been taunting, poking, addressing Pete online for some weeks now, which I don't agree with, you know. Obviously, he's hurt. Why I found issue with it goes back to the kids. Because one thing I'm not going to do, no matter what's going on, is allow my boyfriend to get involved in anything. If I'm going through a freaking custody battle with right now, I'm not going to allow the person that I'm dating to say not even 2 words to my ex-husband, baby daddy, whatever you want to call him. Not doing it. Kanye is over there acting a plumb fool. Posting online, saying this, that, and the third. Let Kanye make a fool of himself. Let him say what he wants to say online. Let him, you know, be inappropriate. He digs his own grave. I'm not going to add to that. We're going to rise above it, right? And so, like I said, my issue goes back to the kids, because it's like, why would you as their mother allow your boyfriend that's been in the picture all of 2 damn weeks, obviously more than that, but text your husband, ex-husband, whatever, that he's in bed with you and send him a selfie? So you're gaslighting him and you're trying to get a reaction out of him, but then trying to turn around and act like you're all innocent and like you want to help him get on medication and do this and that and the third, because you guys are both bipolar. First of all, if I'm Kim Kardashian and I just got out of a relationship with a bipolar man, I'm not going to go dating another bipolar man. Whether he's medicated or not, it's just not something I'm going to do, okay? I won't even date the same sign over again. I'm damn sure not going to date people with mental illness over again. Have you learned nothing? One day, those kids, those 4 children are going to get online, and they've been saying this and telling this woman this for years. They're going to get online and they are going to get to Googling, and they are going to know that you let some man tell their daddy that he was in bed with his wife. How do you look? How do you feel? You know who they're going to resent? Not their dad. They're going to resent the mom. They're going to resent Kim. They're going to feel some type of way about Kim. Why would you let them text my dad that? Let me tell you something. Kids love their dad, okay? Especially if their dad is there for them. They love and bond with their dad more than anything. When they want me, they want me. But when they want their dad, they want their dad. You resent the parent that allows the new person to overstep a boundary. And I resented my father because he allowed his wife to overstep a boundary. So Pete overstepped a boundary. He did not have to say, I'm in bed with your wife. That's not what Kanye meant when he said, where are you? And he knew that. And sending him a selfie was childish. Now, obviously, people are going to be like, okay, well, Kanye's been posting online and doing the most. And we know that. We know that. And we're not arguing that. He's done too much, said too much. But we also don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I feel like I feel like there's a lot of rock throwing and hiding hands going on behind the scenes. Kim's throwing rocks and hiding her hands. Nobody's innocent here. Kanye's doing too much online antics, yes. They know he's unwell. So it's like, if you know this person is unwell and they're struggling with their mental health, why are you poking at it? What are you trying to do? Because if I know somebody is unwell, I'm not going to fool with them. I'm not going to mess with them. Because at the end of the day, if Kanye's going to self-destruct, he's going to self-destruct. They don't have to help him do it. But the situation with the kids and the situation with Pete texting him that stuff is adding fuel to already gaslit fire. So that's why I found issue with the stuff that Pete texted Kanye, because there are still kids involved. And he wasn't considering that because his only concern is getting his dick wet. So he's not considering, hey, the kids. And Kim is dumb because she's not considering the kids seeing those messages either.
We must also consider the fact that the trailer for their new version of Keeping Up with the Kardashians on Hulu just dropped. So the drama that happened with Pete and Kanye, it almost seems orchestrated.
I know, as a little girl, if I were to be in that situation, I wouldn't be happy about it. I wouldn't be happy about mommy's boyfriend telling my dad that I love that he's in bed with my mom. It's so tasteless. Like, and not even just that, you posted it online. You posted the screenshots online and let the whole entire world see. You basically confirmed what Kanye was saying. And that's why I believe there's a lot of rock throwing and hand hiding. It's not okay. See, don't be having black kids if you're not going to allow their fathers to be in their lives. It's really important, Kimberly. Okay? Like, it's really important for black fathers to be able to parent their kids when they want to. It's a big deal for us, you know? And I stand behind Kanye 100% where North is concerned. But all that other stuff you're doing, Kanye, please, sir, get it together. Like, get it together. Don't be holding Pete's dead head, walking around in your music video. I get it. I don't know what Pete was doing behind. Maybe Pete was doing something behind the scenes. We don't know. We really don't know. But Kanye was antagonizing Pete. Is Pete wrong for finally saying something? Maybe not. But I think that he should not have posted those screenshots because there's an ongoing custody case and there are children involved. And Kanye had said in his video, well, if you're in bed with my so-called wife, who's watching my kids? Obviously, Kanye knows that they got a nanny. Because at 8 o'clock in the morning, he sent these text messages. But, and Kim might not have even been there, but then that's whack. Like, why would you even say that? Like, it's just dumb. Like, I can't. At the end of the day, I commend any father out there, especially black, that is trying to actively be a part of their child's life, no matter what is going on between you and the mother. It's responsible, it's beautiful, it's necessary. I'm always gonna side with a black man trying to be a father in his children's lives. I'm always gonna side with that. It's what we need as a community. It's what should have always been the case. A lot of us had our dads taken away from us, you know? Not me. But a lot of us did. And a lot of our friends, a lot of our family members, we were put at a disadvantage. So to see stuff like this happening is really hurtful. Kim will obviously never understand it. Like I said, she's always had a father in her home. That is the normal for people like her. Have your daddy in your home, you know, have multiple streams of income, have a lot of income. That has been Kim's normal. She doesn't understand what it means to have an active black father, and she will never understand it. And until somebody knocks her over the head with this information on what it means, like, it can't come from Kanye, you know? It has to come from somebody else explaining it to her and her taking it in and understanding why he's behaving the way he is about his kids. Until somebody licks her over the head with it, she's not going to get it. And she's going to keep doing what she wants to do and allowing North to be spoiled and allowing North to get away with whatever she wants to get away with and disrespecting her father. But I can't agree with that. And culturally, I have seen it where white kids Not all. Don't mince my words. Some, but not even some, a lot of white children are very disrespectful to their parents. It's just their culture. That's what they were raised with. Not all, so don't be getting in the comment section talking about, well, I'm white and I would never disrespect my mom. Okay, but a lot of y'all do. I see it at the grocery store. I've seen it with my own family members disrespecting their mom. Whether you think that the mom deserves it or not is irrelevant. As a black woman, I will never sit up there and disrespect my mother at any age, okay? We've tried it. We were not successful. We don't try it again, okay? There's a reason, culturally that's just not what we do. In almost 30 years, I have never told my mom to shut the F up. But I hear white kids telling their parents to shut the F up. It's not a thing for us. We don't do that. You say shut the F up, you might swallow your teeth. So culturally, we just are in two different places. But if you're going to mesh cultures, you better understand that one culture may have better boundaries, non-negotiables for their children. And that is completely fine. So that's my take on the situation. I hope that they can figure it out and co-parent amicably. There's nothing else we can do at this point. Nothing else they can do at this point. They gotta find a middle ground. Anyway, I love you all so much, and I will definitely see you in the next one.